They got all that stuff up there. I've been there. It's cool.
Nothing
But
yet.
we've got nothing.
Well, yeah, the town had invested in that because that was their big draw, right?
Right.
So they poured money into that.
But what else do we have here besides that?
Sunflowers.
Well, we almost had Heritage River.
We never had. No.
I know.
No. Heritage River was
get 'em going,
never
Rich.
a thing. Heritage River was nothing more
Wind them right up. Wire it up.
than like a skeleton company.
Mm.
You know, it was just a frame. They had no money. They had nothing. They jacked the town around for 8 years.
What's Heritage River?
Yeah, that's just it. Nothing.
Never heard of it, huh?
Yeah, no. What was it?
A residential
Mixed
area,
use,
mixed use residential area for seniors and for working
Age 55
in
and
the
up and
workforce,
workforce.
stuff like
and
that.
Was it on the river? Or?
It's right down 164 here.
Up by the Petromax gas.
Just past.
Oh, yeah,
property,
yeah.
you know,
On the hill?
River
Yeah.
Ridge.
Yeah, no river.
Yeah, where Stotts used to be.
Past that.
That's past that.
We've got a lot of money invested up there. Other people do too, and it's gone.
On the opposite side is River Ridge.
No, it's on the same side.
Same side.
If you go
Just-
by there, you'll
cool.
see they're
Just-
working
yeah.
on the sewage. Sewer,
Gotcha.
Just between River Ridge and the restaurant,
so yeah,
the golf course restaurant. Yeah.
yeah, they didn't get the money they were hoping for to continue on. I think they were expecting us to bail them out. Town.
Oh, it was a
We
private.
started
We
around
certainly-
2016, 2017.
We're certainly in deep
Yeah.
enough.
And
We're in deep enough.
I think we'll recoup it, with, once the infrastructure is done and, businesses, see what the traffic is over there, what it could be,
Property owners realize they're asking too much for their properties.
perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Well, they're trying to cash in too,
Sure.
wouldn't you?
You can't blame them, but if it's not drawing, listen, you can put a pile of crap on the table. If it doesn't draw flies, what good is it, right?
That's true.
hey, I'm trying to eat my lunch here.
I know.
Yeah, right. There we go.
Blood, gut,
Blood, guts.
Today's special guest is the old man. He comes in.
Here's
Screams at
my
my-
diaper.
Yeah, that was funny.
the guy from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, he was old. Battle,
Get over it, will you?
Battle of Wits. That was the last time I saw you. Then I come here and you tore apart your studio and you have one camera and
Yeah, these chairs are a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, sometimes I yawn. and I
Oh,
fall
yeah.
asleep, like,
the stools,
Mm.
the
You
backbreakers.
wake up.
He's excited to be here.
Yeah,
So
these lights aren't doing anything anymore.
well, then Jesus, we'll just fix everything. You're complaining about everything.
Well, they do something. They add something.
What should they do?
Backlight.
The movie guy.
You gotta separate us from the wall. You get them behind us up there. Yeah,
Lighting specialist.
and I'm not. It's basic.
Oh, that's a dig right there. It's basic.
It's basic.
Jerk.
Whoa.
Well, go ahead. Flip it around, tough guy.
No, we got to move it back.
Oh, you'd have to work.
It gives a little edge light on people's shoulders, cuts them so they don't look like they just. It looks like we're up against the wall in the.
Some more holes in the wall.
Yeah,
Got it. And some glare. There's some beautiful glare there.
on the table.
A little bit, no, actually, on the stripe.
Cool.
Excellent.
Welcome to the Mike Minarski Show. What do we got? What's up?
I was waiting
You're
to
the
see
guest.
this.
What do you got for us? What are you doing?
I asked him last night. I said, "Give me some topics," and he said, "Masturbation." And I read it. So I was like, "Nice."
We're all
I
experts
came
at
in
that,
prepared.
Mike.
Hold on.
Wow.
Hey, Mike. Cool. See you in the AM.
Oh, there goes the show.
Yeah. First, I said,
I said nuclear was shut up.
I said, "What's up? How you doing?" He goes, "Who are you and what do you want?" I said, "My name is Indigo Montoya. I killed my father. Prepare to die." He said, "I get the same message from the IRS." I said, "You doing the show in the AM?" He's like, "Yeah, you want to come?" I said, "Sure." What time are you doing? Cool. See you. Give me some topics. I'll look up.
Never texting him again.
And he said, "Good housekeeping." Yeah, yeah. I said, "All right." Those were the days.
He's not lying.
Those were the days.
Wow.
Good Housekeeping magazine.
Good housekeeping. Is that from Step Brothers?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, you want to do karate? Yup.
Karate in the Garage.
And the other thing was from Princess Bride.
Yeah. Yeah, that was from Princess Bride. Yeah.
And we're just taking.
Oh yeah,
Just wasting time.
Rich is like that. I don't watch any of his goddamn movies.
Nope.
See, what do you watch? I watch PBS.
No.
anything with an engine in it.
Motor Trend.
Motor Trend.
Is that even a thing?
Oh yeah. Still on there.
Is it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Bunch of different shows on that channel.
So I think the other thing I put on there was talk nuclear war.
Oh. Sweet. I love that topic.
No, but is that something that's
Coming.
coming?
Who knows?
Probably not.
Who knows?
There's a lot of people afraid of it.
Of course,
Sure.
They're petrified of
Well,
it.
let's
There's
face
no
it.
money to be made in nuclear war. Okay, so it will never happen.
Iran's a loose cannon. You never know.
Well, they kind of. That's why they're going after him, disarming.
Sure. You,
They're
you
loose
have to
cannon.
because you don't know what them.
I don't see China doing anything or Russia anything. 'Cause
Nope.
There's no money to be made. There's no profit.
Nope.
Everybody's a loser.
But do you think the regime in Iran cares about that?
No.
No, they don't. That's why they're. That's why the West wants to deal with them before they can make nuclear bombs and nuclear missiles.
And if our president isn't throwing a pile of BS out there, and he says he knows where Ayatollah is, and he's safe, but he is reachable, they can kill him if they want. That
I think he said that he was a pretty easy target.
easy target. He's safe, but he's an easy target, but nobody wants to go there. So
Did you see the following hours after he put out there, everybody needs to leave Tehran?
300,000 people they told to get out. They told to get out.
Getting out, the lines in the gas
Sure.
station.
It's a
Oh my
crusade.
God!
300,000 people.
That's
Even Kim Jong Un was like, "Holy crap!
Well, because they know that their leaders over there are loose nuts. That they'll do it.
We gotta get
They'll
out
push.
of here."
They'll push the button.
Whoa,
They know they will.
I'm so grown.
So if somebody says to get out, they're going to get out if they want to live.
You know where I'm going with that?
Yeah. Team America.
World Police.
Yeah.
Oh. You ever see that movie? We were talking movies earlier. Team America, World Police.
The puppets.
Yeah, that's the puppets. I think I
Yeah.
saw some of it. Yeah, that was not a children's movie.
No.
No,
That was Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
No.
Creators of South Park.
neither was Barbie. So
No, not really. I can only get through like 15 minutes of it, but from what I saw.
it's like puppet porn almost.
What?
So,
Team America.
Yeah.
There was a scene, yeah.
There's a couple. There's a couple, especially when the butler guy was backstage with Gary.
Oh, yeah.
Get in there and yeah. So
I used to bowl with the voice of that guy. The guy, Spotworth or whatever his name was. He was on our bowling team. And we're like, say it again. Say it again. And he did the voiceover for the. Now,
Spotsworth.
yes.
Who don't you know? In Hollywood.
I didn't know that old guy that was trying to fight you. That was pretty funny.
Couldn't finish his breakfast because Mike was, talking about.
Put up your
Blood and
dukes,
guts.
youngster.
Oh God.
So what's going on with you, Wayne? How about Rafael Devers?
Oh God.
Since you got your Red Sox shirt on.
Well, I think he was becoming a problem in the clubhouse. That's probably why they had to get rid of him, trade him.
Okay.
Getting paid $350 million or something like that over.
It's more than Mike makes in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They still order. They still.
It's almost as much as I make on this show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're the program director. You know what I mean?
Thank God I.
Been slacking lately, though.
Yeah, I slacked Sunday. But anyway,
They still owed him $250 million.
Wow.
Shipped him off.
Third of $1 billion, right?
yeah. So
Well,
they
no,
do
what
these-
they had, what they still owed him was $250.
yeah, they traded him for like 4
Nobody's
minor league people, kids, pitchers,
prospects.
prospects.
This is Mookie Betts Part 2.
But but Mookie Betts, he was willing to play different positions if needed. This guy he was just a fair third baseman with that. And they asked him to go play first when they got Bregman, right?
Well, it's because he could hit,
Yeah, he could hit.
but like with Mookie Betts, we got a take of like 4 players, but where are they all? The only one that really made any kind of headway in the major leagues was Alex Verdugo, who ended up with the Yankees, and then this year he could barely get himself a free agent contract. The other guys, they went nowhere. Like Jeter Downs was one of them. He was supposed to be like the number 2 prospect in all of baseball, or at least in the Dodgers organization.
I know nothing about sports, and I have a sports show on the radio on 94.9 every Saturday.
Oh, they're still on
My
here?
son was sitting here. He'd give him a run for his money.
Yeah.
My son knows a lot of us. He follows. That's what he does. He just loves follows. But anyway, yeah,
Franchi Cordero was another one.
It's a
Nowhere.
made-up name.
Well, maybe he made it up, but it was not Frenchie. It was Franchi.
Oh.
Franchy.
That's just Boston fans mispronouncing it.
it's
It's probably supposed to be Frankie,
paid all
right?
this
Frank, yeah.
money and you're
That's
not
Frank.
willing to play first base or try to play first base.
Yeah, it was
I think it
ridiculous.
just turned into he was causing problems in the clubhouse. I said, okay, we got to trade this guy, otherwise.
What would you do for $30 million a year? Would you play first base?
Whatever they want.
That's the problem.
I learned how to play catcher. If I had to.
Right.
I'd be your water boy or your bat boy. It don't matter, huh?
It's
Justin would be the rub down guy. You don't care.
No, these guys are
Well-
What do you need?
big contracts. They turn the prima donna and says like, "Oh, I'm all this." It's like there's no team.
It's
It's not like
me,
the young
yeah.
kids coming up and they want to play team. They want to help the team and all that stuff. It's all about
Yeah.
the team.
Who? It's about who it is, not what they say.
Whatever.
So I'm glad they traded him, actually.
Yeah.
Now
I was upset when they traded Mookie Betts. I was pretty ticked off about that one. Yeah, 'cause
I think they should have
I think
signed
he had a
him.
great
He was
attitude.
he was a homegrown guy, and
He was a hustler. Big clubhouse guy.
one of the things that was in the Boston Herald is Mookie Betts had said, not directly but indirectly, to Rafael Devers about the San Francisco Giants. It's just 2 words: they care. Red Sox, they don't care. Red Sox manager, they care more about their soccer team.
The new management now. Even my son said they're not. He has lost a lot of respect for him from when they used to have the other crowd, but they're not. It's almost like they're pinching pennies, and they're not really worried about putting.
Well,
a
they have
winning
a
team on
soccer
the field.
team in England.
Yeah.
And it's kind of strange that they went ahead and traded Rafael Devers, and then like the next day they signed a soccer player like $150 million. So they own half of the Pittsburgh Penguins too, hockey, the Fenway Sports Group. So I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
They're
even
not
know.
going anywhere.
I don't even know 2/3 of players in the Red Sox. I think I've watched maybe 2 games this year.
Yeah. Well, they have 3 big prospects that they're
Yeah.
going
Did they win last night? I didn't even know.
Last night they only got their ass kicked, 8-0.
That's like their first loss in
They only got 2 hits.
10 games or something like that. They had like an 8 or 9 game winning streak going on.
Well, I don't know if it was that much, but they did have a winning streak going on, and they took the first one in Seattle and then lost.
Yeah.
Look at Justin's all glassed over there. He's like,
I'm listening. It's fascinating stuff.
Maybe we should be starting to talk about blood and guts on the baseball field or something like that and wake them up.
what's going on today? Batter up. Murder.
But you've been doing a lot of baseball stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, we do the Sea Unicorns.
Sea unicorns.
Which
Did I hear you mention that they might do away with the whole operation over there?
Yeah. So the city of Norwich, nothing is definite yet, but they're toying with the idea of selling the stadium off. And they said that a couple years ago. Now this year it's more serious talk. So who knows?
Selling the property
Yeah. Yeah.
and just leveling it, or somebody comes in and makes it a
no, I think they're go ahead.
They sell it. They can do what they want with it.
right. No, but I didn't know if
I
that's
think the idea is
the
housing.
Housing.
housing. Yeah, so it's gone, huh?
Well, not
It's gonna
yet.
be-
It's not done yet. It's
It's housing or warehouse.
I don't it's not sold.
Yeah.
So
That would be a shame.
yeah, what's left?
Is it listed for sale?
No.
Who owns it?
City of Norwich.
Oh, the city owns it. Well, they're going through a regime change over there, aren't they? Soon.
Oh, I bet
The mayor's done, right? He's not running again.
That's a very expensive town to live in.
Kidding, I got a business there.
Yeah. It's very, very expensive. I mean, yeah, they have a lot of services and stuff.
Social services.
I think that's their problem
Hmm.
in Norwich. It's like who wants money?
Not
Who wants money? They just
Problem
give it
everywhere,
away.
Isn't it? Who wants money?
Yeah, but it's never to the
Not
right
here.
places. It's
Downtown
like,
Norwich took a dive.
Grizzled.
Took a dive back in the mid '90s when the state hospital closed because everything moved down there and all the people went down there and it destroyed the city.
yeah,
People don't want to go downtown.
no, it's pretty
There's
brutal.
not much down there.
I'm pretty close to downtown, and
Yeah.
it's like, I think I'm moving. That's
what
Mike's
happens when you
ringtone.
don't put your phone on silent.
Was that a cartoon character calling you?
That's
Roger
Star
Rabbit
Bugs
That's
Bunny.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Uh,
Star Wars.
in the hut,
In the
the
bar.
bar, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
So silence my phone too.
yeah, I just
You know,
did that.
whenever you might get some, hubba thing coming up or something like that.
Well,
Um,
so
yeah,
you're
mine's
saying about
already done.
Norwich.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. I might move my operation to London.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's way more artsy down there.
Hmm.
Norwich is like it's been
crime capital of Connecticut, almost like
Yeah.
second to like.
Well, look at the
Bridgeport.
drive-through shootings that happened down there a few years ago, down Franklin Street, down Main Street. It was,
yeah.
the whole gang thing from New London to Norwich, and
I was working late the other night. I'm on Franklin, right by next door to Delia's.
oh yeah,
You know where Delia's is?
Yeah.
So I was working late. It was like midnight. I was editing, and I just hear boom, boom. Like, man, that didn't sound like a gun.
Hmm.
Firework, too loud. It just like was too concussive to be a firework. So I texted my buddy who's a cop in Norwich. I'm like, what's going on? What just happened? And he's like, oh, we just hit a house with flashbangs. Like literally across the street from me on the hill on Boswell. Boswell.
Oh, yeah.
What's
Lower
a
Boswell's
flashbang?
always been
Flashbang
special.
is what they toss into a house to stun everybody. It's like a
Mhm.
grenade, but it's a non-lethal grenade. It
Right.
just kind of makes your ears ring and
Yeah.
flashes.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that in LA.
Yeah,
Makes you dizzy. Yeah.
it makes you dizzy, and then they hit the house.
Flashbangs.
Just tossing flashbangs through someone's
years
window.
ago, downtown Norwich. I mean, when I was first born, my parents lived on Boswell Avenue, and it was a good place to live back then.
Yeah,
But when I was 10, 12 years old, me and a buddy of mine, either my mother or his mother, would drop us off downtown. And you get $2 or $3 a piece, and you could go to either the Palace or the Midtown, go watch a movie, get a soda, box of candy, whatnot. And the other mother would come pick us up at the end of the day. I wouldn't drop a 10-year-old kid off downtown
No.
Norwich anymore. You kidding me?
no,
You kidding? No way.
no.
And
There's nothing
down
there.
there for them to do.
No, nothing but check
It's
cashing
also-
stands
it's
and
social
pawn
services.
shops.
Yeah, what are they going to do with $2 or
It is
$3 too?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. You can't even buy
There's a
a,
Metro PCS.
Yeah, burner phones.
can't even get a joint for that, right? But
Can't
Yeah.
even get in a joint with that.
no, there's nothing there.
No, it's
There
pretty
isn't.
brutal.
It's terrible.
People are nice. I mean, the whole body of government there, they've been good to me. It's just
Yeah.
something's going wrong because they just can't. They don't. It's not like they don't have money. They're collecting money, from taxpayers. They have money, but it's
When
just,
you got a
it's just-
school budget that starts off at $100 million
They're get-
every year,
they're
though,
getting rid of like 5 or 6 schools. I heard.
Well,
How?
Stanton's getting torn down now,
Yeah,
and then I think Greenville's already gone. Stanton and what's the other one that's going? They're tearing down 2, but they want to build 3 or something like that.
Oh,
I think.
really? I thought they
Yeah.
were consolidating down because they have 11 schools, I think, in
Yeah,
Norwich. I
it's-
think they're
it's terrible.
Well, they don't have a quote unquote public high school.
right. That's
No.
private when they want it to be.
NFA.
NFA, it's run on a
Private.
trust.
It's private.
They have Norwich Tech.
Yeah, it's state.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So the
College is state.
yeah,
But they I mean, they have like middle schools and stuff like that. But when it comes to high school, they don't.
They don't.
And Griswold was pretty smart
Mhm.
jumping in that one because they're sending town kids from Norwich now. Norwich, Preston.
Cut NFA's throat a little bit, and you get them to come up here. That's all.
Yeah.
yeah. They're closing Huntington, Mahan, Waquanic, Magnet, and Veterans Memorial.
Okay. Yeah. Waquanic's aged. Veterans, really. Wow.
But the closures expect to be the end of 2026. And
Stanton's already being torn down.
yeah,
They already started that one.
Where's
They
that
want-
one?
but they want
The
to.
Turnpike.
It looks like they want to build one big one on the
towards
stand.
Norristown.
Okay.
They want to build one big one where
Yeah.
the former Stanton used to be.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Probably why it's going first.
Yeah.
Build that one and then tear the other ones down.
yeah,
That's what happens when Benny's leaves town.
they used to have everything downtown, like Woolworths and
Yeah.
everything on the hill.
2 movie theaters. Sears used to be down there. Benny's used to be down there.
Yep.
There's 3 movie theaters.
Yeah,
Palace in Midtown.
There was two. They were
It's a
owned by
twin.
brothers. They were used
Palace
to
was
park
owned
down by the water.
Lords. Lords owned the Palace.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
there was
Jeffrey.
it was like if you're going down Norwich, right, and here's Otis Library.
Yeah.
There's one right here,
That was Midtown.
right, and then there's
Yeah.
2 down here.
the Lords owned almost all
That
of
was
them.
the Lords.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jeffrey Lord.
And what about the one over on the west side?
No, it used to up there by what was Ames up in
Yeah,
that
exactly.
plaza.
Or
Used to have a twin. Used
It
to
was
have
a twin up
Tierra,
there, right?
Yeah. So that was a.
But that's outside the downtown. We're talking downtown, you know.
No, I know, but just as far as movie
Yeah, right.
theaters in the
Right.
town,
He's
downtown
in
of
movie
Norwich.
theaters.
So
Yeah,
you had Woolworths down there on the corner.
yeah.
And what was it? Beverly's Tea Room or something was across the street. It was a lot.
I was
down there.
booming. They had manufacturing. They had
Fagan
tons of
Smoke
manufacturing
Shop
down there.
Up Main Street,
Reed
up where
Hughes?
the parking garage is up Main Street. All the businesses that used to be over there. There was
Yeah.
2 music stores.
Yep.
There was all kinds of stuff over
You're
there.
talking about downtown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Reed and Hughes,
Yep.
the YMCA.
Yeah.
That was when.
YMCA.
They're rebuilding that for something. I don't know
Go
what it
It's
is.
there.
uh,
Get a
Mattern
good
Construction.
Is that what it is?
Mattern's going to move, I guess, their operations there and then have retail space or something too.
Cool.
Courthouse. That's
You got
extra
the courthouse.
busy.
And then you got the police department that wants the old Chelsea Groton Bank to make it their new police department. I don't understand that personally, but
I talked to the chief about that. He just wants to get on the other side of the river because if there's a call at the high school or somewhere,
it's quicker.
yeah, it takes. We did a whole video thing where we did a time lapse to get across that bridge at rush hour. It takes them like an extra 10 minutes to any call in the city. So
It's like, they're not
Yeah.
gaining much in the parking
no,
department. That's for
no, across the street there's a huge parking lot. I actually have aerials of it for them.
over next to it's the Veterans Place or something. Over
Chelsea's Groton, the Social Security building, I
Yeah.
think it was
there.
at one point.
No, that was
by the there's a cemetery right there too on
Yeah.
the hill. There's a big
Um,
parking lot right there.
well, it used to be Sears years ago, but what was in there last? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, not saying it's for the 10-minute save,
yeah. I don't know.
it's
a huge
worth the
expense.
whatever, a huge expense, but that's kind
And
of
then
their
the work that
their
has to be
pitching.
done to it to make it a police department
Right.
is huge money.
right.
I don't know. City's gonna have trouble with that.
Wouldn't
one, I
they
think.
be better off if they just built something from the ground up?
Would have been better off if when they built the place they have now, they prepared for the future and built it so they could have built up.
Well, they tried to do that. They tried to put it by the senior center, by Norwich Tech where the
Right.
skate park
Skate
was.
park is.
They wanted to tear down the skate
Yep.
park, move the skate park as part of the budget,
Right.
and that was the last round like 2 years ago. They were trying to do, but that didn't go through.
But
So
the current police department, had they built that, if anybody would have had a little foresight
yeah.
and built that so we could go up later on with it, thinking if it ever expanded and you needed it, you had it.
Yeah.
They can't build up on it. It's
Yeah.
not, it won't support it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Norwich Police are great guys. I just did a recruitment video for them. They've treated me great.
I know
They
a
were
lot of
awesome.
those-
Yeah.
a lot of those
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, oh, yeah. I'm the chief. I was in East Great Plains Fire Department
Yeah,
when he was in.
Chief's
there.
great.
So, yeah, Pat's a good guy.
Yep. But yeah, there's problems over there in Norwich. Just funding is like
Money.
never there,
Money.
but they have money for weird stuff like, like a Vietnamese Day parade, which is cool if there's money, but
got
then
the-
they don't have money
there's
for
that-
like,
There's that world something or other. I think they get money somewhere else for that too.
Yeah.
I think.
well, they have a NCDC over there, which
Yes.
is kind of like what it's a government entity, but it's
Community
also
development,
private.
right, yep.
They're funded. It's what's his name? The guy from who used to run the casino is the head of that.
Oh, yeah.
Reels.
No.
No, that's
Just
say
Fox.
Reels,
That's
that could be
Foxwoods.
Kevin Brown.
Kevin Brown. Yeah. He's in charge of that. So
Oh, he retired though from the.
from Mohegan, yeah.
From
Now
Mohegan, yeah.
he runs NCDC now.
Gotcha.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah. They brought in their big push was like grow facility. I think they turned Mr. Biggs into a grow facility or something like that. Remember where Mr. Biggs used
Is
to be?
it actually that yet?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
what
the
it
big
was.
plans.
Biggs.
Yeah.
It was
It was
creepy, but
That was
I
like
loved
3
it.
years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Mr. Biggs was always a place that my mother would take me, especially when she needed yarn.
Yeah.
She crocheted a lot.
I'd go every year and get a pair of rubber boots with my
I used to get
dad,
my shop
fishing boots.
My shop uniforms when I went to Norwich Tech was the cheapest place to get them.
Yeah.
I always thought it was neat parking that parking like
Across
down
the
like
lake.
that and come down like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a bridge or something you walked?
Yeah, there's a
over?
bridge. That's Chautauqua River there. It's next
Mm.
to.
Yeah, and you get in there, and then they
Parking
had,
lot lights with them big ass light bulbs hanging out. Kids used to get on there and throw rocks at them.
Oh, yeah.
I used to. They had like all these like floor fixtures everywhere with clothes. just
Yeah.
hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
I used to hide them. There was so many of them.
Mm.
And the place, as a, with an 8-year-old kid, it's absolutely humongous. So I remember my mother wanted to take me to see Santa Claus at Mr. Biggs,
Hmm.
and I didn't understand why I thought Santa Claus would be like in the front of the building, so in the store, right? Oh no, he was like all the way down in the back on the left,
Okay.
and then he was just like some creepy old Santa dude. And I remember telling my mother, I don't want to go talk to him.
Well, that was
Come here, kid.
yeah.
Blood and guts. And
That's sad. Empty.
Is that
How-
Probably that 90-year-old guy who was 50.
right?
Yeah.
Blood and guts, right? Yeah, that ended
I
up
remember
becoming-
you.
Mohegan Sun rented that building for many years.
They did?
Used it for dry storage.
Oh.
I think they had a 10-year lease on that. And then along came Charlie from AC/DC Generators. He was moving his business there and started renovating the building. And along came the growing facility and said, "Hey, listen, what'd you pay for it? X amount of dollars. Well, we'll give you this for it." And he couldn't say no.
Who,
So
Charles?
that's why he sold it. He never even moved his business there.
Oh,
So
Quick
whoever's-
flip.
I don't know if it's actually a growing facility yet or not.
Did-
I'm not 100% sure,
Remember,
but
we sold the building. He didn't sell.
He didn't sell AC/DC.
Okay.
No, just the building. Right. I don't even know where he is now. I know he's still in business, but I don't know where.
Yeah.
Lisbon, I think. But whatever. Yeah, it's sat empty for the longest time. And then Mohegan Sun took a lease on it because they were renting over in Uncasville somewhere like by Divine Hydraulics or
Mhm.
someplace like that. There was a building over there and it was getting expensive. So they caught on to that and jumped on that for a while. And then Charlie bought it. And there's always a lot happening in Norwich. There really is. But where does the money go? I don't get it. It's
What's funny is we've talked about everything, but what is or is not going on in our own backyard. We talked about 2 minutes about this.
so
It's
what
kind
is
of
going
sad.
on?
That's the
What
point.
is going on? I got 30 seconds.
We
Tell
did.
me.
We talked
That's
about
the point.
vampires.
Right, vampires.
Talked about
Sunflowers and
vampires.
vampires. What else? Not much.
Sunflowers and vampires.
well, New London is a good model of. They're doing it right now. They're really having an economic boom, and there's stuff popping up everywhere, and they're redoing buildings and selling them and turning them into apartments and restaurants, and it's becoming quite the destination. They have an arts district. They have,
You mean down Bank Street?
down Bank
Yeah.
and even behind it, all the way up onto the hill. Like New London's really developing its downtown. Because remember, 15 years ago, that place
You didn't want to go
you
there.
didn't want to go there, and now it's
After
like,
hours, anyway.
yeah, now they have gourmet restaurants, and
But that brings you to how come last year there was when they had Sailfest, there was a lot of off-duty police that went down there to provide security for that.
yeah, they've canceled it
and
this
then
year.
they canceled it this year.
Yeah.
They said it was about money, but I don't know.
No, they're doing
I
it
think it's other- I
Salfest.
think it's other things.
They're doing it Salfest now.
Yeah.
It's the Tony D family. They're doing their own.
Oh, yeah?
and calling it Salfest. Yeah,
Sal?
yeah. Yeah.
You mean Tony D's restaurant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. We were
Because
there.
their family, his kids all own restaurants
Yeah.
down on Bank Street and stuff. So they own Blue Duck.
There's a
and,
lot of good
yeah,
food places now.
They own Fat Tuna.
Yeah.
First time I went into Tony D's, there was a waiter. He goes, "You got to try Tony's tomatoes."
That place is great.
They're delicious. They're delicious. They're delicious.
That place is consistently great.
Oh yeah.
And you order like calamari, plate the size of this table comes out.
Yeah.
I felt he was gonna. If I didn't order the tomatoes, he was gonna pull
He
out.
was
the
going to bring
Tommy
them. You're
gun.
going to bring them anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're going to eat them and like them.
you're gonna like the tomatoes.
I went to Fat Tuna's. It was good.
Yeah.
It was pricey, but it was good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everything's pretty. I mean, I had lunch at Blue Duck the other day, and I got a what the heck did I get? I got a Cuban sandwich. You know the Cuban? It's like pork and pickles
Pressed
and
and-
yeah, it's
We
pressed.
don't need to know about your Friday
Cuban
night
sandwich. It was like
dates.
$23. Huh?
So we don't need to know about your.
It wasn't
Friday
night.
night
It was a lunch.
dates.
It was a lunch.
$23. Wow.
$23, yeah, for a Cuban sandwich and a Diet Coke.
Wow.
And a Diet Coke.
Yeah, but everybody's got it going on. You don't see much happening here. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird how some places start to flourish from poverty, and some places just kind of wallow in it.
Gotta have people
Norwich is
investing
one of
in it.
them.
We don't have the capital.
Yeah, but how do you attract them? You know what I mean? It's like there's always money to be made. You just got to figure out how to attract the investors. I don't know.
Well, Norwich isn't funding them, but I'm sure they're, tax abatements, things of that nature to make it
We have
worth
that.
coming to. Yeah.
Mhm.
But we don't have anything. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
We got a tax abatement ordinance. You
The
can attract them. You got to use it.
I know the building I'm in. The guy who bought it. I know he bought it for cheap, but the deal was he had to bring it up to code within like 2 or 3 years or something like that. But he's a contractor, and he did a beautiful job. It was an old gun factory, and he brought Mel Weiss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mel. So he owns a building, and he brought it up to code. But that was the deal. I think he got it for like pennies on the dollar,
Yeah.
and it was kind of an incentive program down there, and he did an amazing job on the building. But don't quote me. That's just kind of what I've heard. I don't know the exact deal, but yeah. So bringing it up to code, like that works. You know what I mean? It's like selling a place for $1, but the whole deal is
So he's a partner with the old American Legion up on Laurel Hill, right?
he owns that. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's going to do with it. I was just talking
Well,
to his
it's
guy.
not just him. He's got
Does he?
a guy named Asef.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know him.
I was up there. I was talking to Asef one day about when we were up there, and he told me Mel was a partner in that, and it's just been sitting.
Yeah, they don't know what they're going to do.
They talked about a hotel. They talked about all kinds of different
Yeah,
things.
it's a nice piece of property if they ever develop the state hospital side.
Right.
And
Asef, he's got a lot of other properties in
He
Norwich
does.
too that he's really going through and done nice work with. But
yeah,
Wasn't there supposed to be a theme park? That was supposed to
At one
go in over
time.
there.
I don't know what's going there.
does Mohegans own it now?
I
They
believe
do,
so.
yeah. But there was supposed to be a
But
theme
not the
park
not the
and a
Norwich
movie
side.
studio.
Not the Norwich side.
Did you? I mean, it's probably before your time in the industry, anyway.
Yeah, they talked about that, right?
They talked about that. Yeah.
I think COVID hurt them, set them back a bit.
Mm.
Those 4 or 5 years of COVID. They had a lot
I
of
don't
plans.
think this had anything to do with COVID. I think it was done well before that.
Yeah, but I mean,
The Norwich side, I don't know what Norwich has plans for that. I've
No.
never heard boo about that.
No, that's just abandoned.
Yeah,
They knocked down a bunch of buildings, and then
Well, the Norwich side still has a lot of like the doctors' houses and stuff back there.
down in the back, there's a whole
behind the
community.
old
Yeah,
Martin House,
yeah, I've
right,
been
yeah.
back there. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
It's a neat little town behind the.
Oh, it was a city within
I didn't
itself.
exactly. I
Yeah.
didn't even know that the houses existed.
On
I
the
knew
Pres-
about the buildings.
Yep.
The hospital side, but
on the
were they?
Preston side, the power plant that used to be down by the river. I'd never seen a power plant like that. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I knew they were self-sustaining, but holy shit, the
Wow.
thing was huge. But it's all gone.
Yeah. Yeah, we went in there. I think we did Ghost Hunters there, and it was like
I know
Table
people
set.
that drive by that property and instantly get headaches They say that
I've heard that too.
they're into ghosts and stuff, and
Yeah.
they say that there's something there that they will get a blaring headache when they drive by that property.
It's crazy. When we went in there, it was like the state just shut off funding one day, so people just didn't show up to work.
Right.
So there was still table settings out with like this much dust on them. Everything was just there in place. There were like trays out in the basements down in the hallways downstairs with like needles still, like metal syringes still out on the table. It's just like, just stop coming in. And then they let everybody out and they all moved to Laurel Hill over there. And there's generations of crazy people.
Now we know.
Yeah.
I
Now
worked
we
at
know.
UConn
Now
in the
we-
Mansfield Training School.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. You up there, the night hospital up there. I mean, it's creepy going in that place. There's still people's records sitting on tables. In
Right.
There. Yep.
Yeah.
They just boom. That was it. Done.
In the 80s, they cut a lot of mental health
Yep.
funding, didn't they? All over the country. Because there's a lot of like state hospitals that were closed.
That's why they all ended up downtown Norwich.
Yeah. And that's where they walked to Laurel Hill, set up shop,
Mhm.
and then had kids, crazy
a lot
kids.
of them ended up in DC too. Tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it's got nothing to do with the hospitals or anything, but you talk about like actually the North City Hospital, how there were things that were set out and stuff like
Yeah.
that. The old Stott building,
The what?
the Stott restaurant,
Yeah.
there were still plates and everything on the counters.
Really.
There was a tip. It was $1 and some change.
Huh.
They
That's
just,
still
what happened with that place?
just
Knocked down.
No, but I know, but why did it close? Just one day it closed?
I think there's rumors, and I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah.
To be honest with
I remember going there as a
I went there
kid.
a
They had
few
good
times.
pies.
It was
Yeah.
always good.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the only breakfast joint around up that way. There was no golf
Yeah.
course. There was no.
Oh no,
Right,
no,
right.
no.
Yeah.
Well,
There
the
was
golf course
Stotts.
doesn't do breakfast. Does it?
I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think so. It's lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
That place is pretty good. Been in there for lunch before.
Yeah.
They used to own a
That's
pizza
good.
place in Taffville too.
They did.
I don't think they own it anymore.
No,
though.
they sold that.
Yeah, they did. So
Too much to handle two places, I guess.
Is that Grizzled or Preston?
it's Grizzled.
That's Grizzled.
still.
Still Grizzled. Yeah.
Just barely. Yeah.
Still. All right. Well, we've talked about nothing today. A
Right.
little bit of nothing.
Talked about a lot of things. But we
Talked about a lot of
nothing.
things.
Sometimes that's the grandeur of the show, right?
Yeah.
You start talking about something, and then at
But
the end,
But the
it's
worst
totally
part of it
different.
is we talked about nothing because there's nothing to talk about.
When are the elections in town? When's the whole
November.
November of this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You running?
If I get endorsed.
That's how it works. You got to get endorsed.
Yeah, that's why I try to tell people there's a process. You have to
Mhm.
get endorsed by your party. And then if I get endorsed.
What are you, Republican?
Yes. You haven't watched the show much.
He's the-
I check
He's the
in once in a
he's the
while.
angry Republican.
The angry Republican.
Angry
blood and
Republican.
guts. And
Blood and
Jeez.
guts.
Yeah.
coming to get you.
Passionate. The
And we
passionate
got our
Republican.
Referendum next week.
Second half.
Second
Second
part
half
for the
of
school.
round
Town
two.
passed. School failed.
Oh, you guys don't have
Anybody
a.
hear anything about Plainfield? What happened with them?
The only one, the capital failed. The other two were passed. The capital failed by 11 votes.
The governor sign a budget?
I don't know.
He had it on his desk. I know.
I don't know.
He's just gonna sign it in.
Do not know.
All right, let's get the heck out of here. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you invited yourself.
I have a record.
Yeah, he's going to go back home and read his Good Housekeeping magazine.
Yeah,
yeah, bring my copies back.
way ahead of you.
All right, we'll see you Monday. I would say Wednesday.
You got something?
No, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
We'll be here tomorrow with
And
Kathy.
Got it.
About 10 after.
I'll be here around 9.